Hello, Professor. My name is Isia Vasquez, and this is my video to the first assignment. I did add the class late, so it's why I'm just uploading now, but I'll make sure to get on the rest of the work. If you see me looking down, it's because of my notes. I never done a video before as an assignment, so I just want to make sure that I say everything I need to say. So without further ado, the first question was my ideology on race. And to me, there is only one race, so the human race. I know I've heard that somewhere in a movie or show, and I do agree with it. We are all human, and all race does is point out our differences instead of uniting us. As discussed in the videos that we saw, it said that it's a social construct to divide and or control us. With the census or when completing applications, I do always have a hard time when they ask about race because I do not identify as the options listed. I don't like choosing or checking white because I don't look or feel white. I don't benefit from white passing or their privilege, so therefore I don't identify as white. It also makes me think of my parents' home country and how, they were colonized. There may or may not be white in me, but I don't identify with any part of it, so I just don't check that box. I don't identify as black because I did not grow up with any of their known cultures or with any just what you would consider black. So I can't identify with that or the culture. Although there may be black in me, since we did see in one of the videos how we are all descendants from Africa. But like I said, I don't identify with it, so I can't check that box either. And so it's the same for all the other options that they usually put when they say mark your race. So for me, there's only one race, which is the human race, because we're all humans and we all deserve acceptance and respect. When it comes to the second question regarding what ethnicity means to me and my ideology behind it, ethnicity is something that I can relate to a bit more. I identify my ethnicity as Latina. I identify with Latina more than Hispanic because Latina means I'm from Latino America. Although technically I am from Central America, I feel more connected to the Latina word than Hispanic. I really enjoyed the jelly bean video. I feel like that was a really good way of explaining it to me. It may seem silly, but it really did work to differentiate, ethnicity, race, and nationality, I think was the third option they spoke about. It helped me understand these terms better, as it can all be very confusing and terms are sometimes used interchangeably. Growing up, I knew I was Latina, but I didn't see myself represented in media, so there was always a shame in being a minority. Now, as an adult, I celebrate my differences and feel camaraderie with other Latinos. And now we see it more in movies and media. We see more of myself, and I hope that that continues to be the case. I am very proud to be Latina and of my roots and my culture. And so now for the third question, my ideology behind culture. A culture for me are the customs I grew up with and was taught at home. My culture is Salvadorian, as both my parents are from El Salvador. I am extremely grateful that I grew up in a Spanish-speaking household because Spanish was my first language. I was placed in ESL in elementary school, and I was in ESL courses or class up until about the third grade. When I started fourth grade, then that's when I started just full English. Although growing up in LA, I was exposed to many Latino cultures, I still felt less growing up because I was in ESL. Kids can be cruel, and I was bullied for many things, and not being able to speak English fluently was one of them. Although growing up bullied is no fun, I wouldn't change a thing because I'm so grateful to be bilingual. I can speak two languages and can help people when translating skills are required. I'm proud of my Salvadorian roots because it is a part of me and who I am. My culture is made up of delicious food like pupusas, panes con pollo or pavo, pastelitos, yuca con chicharrón, and I am most likely a descendant from the Pipil tribe that inhabited El Salvador long ago. I'm very proud of my Salvadorian culture. Then who I identify as a whole. I am Isiareli Vasquez Batres. I am of the human race. I am a proud Latina woman with Salvadorian roots. It has taken a long time, but with age and maturity, I have come to realize that I don't have to fit in a box or be labeled. My name is very different, and although it doesn't come from my culture, I am proud that even my name is different. I love being a part of the Latino community that embraces all of the other wonderful cultures. It is a way to bring us closer and acknowledge our differences, but most importantly, our similarities. And I see this a lot with, different countries. We have different names, but it's the same thing. Like, as a Salvadorian, I call a straw pajilla, but in Mexico, they call it popote. But it's the same thing, just different names. And I just love that we can be a big part of the collective human race. And then how it all applies or ties in to my everyday life. My thoughts on race, ethnicity, culture, and how I define myself are definitely a part of my everyday life. I grew up in LA in the Koreatown district and was exposed to different cultures from an early age. This has helped me understand that although our cultures and ethnicities may differ, we are all the same. I currently work in the Orange County Superior Court and work in a department that is mostly white. However, there is a lot of diversity within the team I'm in. Although there are times where I do feel that I stand out, remembering that we are the same helps me feel better. I also like to speak about my culture to expose them to different ways of thinking and foods. Thankfully, my specific team is diverse, and we all enjoy learning from each other's cultures. Who I am helps me feel empathy, since I understand struggle, and it makes me want to work hard to make my parents proud for the sacrifices they made to come to this country. And so those are pretty much my responses. Thank you.